my name is Grant Price. I'm the head guide at Blue Ridge Mountain Guides, and today I'm going to talk about back-to-front efficiency. This topic is applicable to anyone going top rope climbing or climbing instructors working in a single pitch setting. We're going to start with some definitions. So first off, what is back-to-front efficiency? Ultimately, it's constructing an anchor starting at components or anchors away from the edge of the cliff and then working in a unidirectional progression out to the edge without having to do any back and forth. Why does this matter? One, it limits our exposure at the edge, less time working at the cliff edge, and then also less clipping in and out of tether systems. This saves time. That means more time climbing and more time with the people you're out climbing with. And then lastly, we do get some energy savings. Doing this, you're not going to be racking up as much mileage moving back and forth at the top of the cliff. Some terms that I'm going to be using through this video. A component. This is referring to a non-redundant or non-monolithic point in our anchor system. So for example, a single bolt, cam placement, small tree. An anchor or a monolithic anchor, this is going to be something that we're comfortable building an entire anchor system off of or tethering to go out and over the edge of the cliff. Anchor system, just a broad way to describe the entire anchor, right? So encompassing the components, the riggings, everything. And then lastly, a lifeline tether. Lifeline tether is such that we can go out to the cliff edge securely and work, and then also go over the edge of the cliff. One thing to think about there is the naming. We called it a lifeline tether because you're putting your entire life on that single tether line. So you want to make sure that it's secured to an anchor. In terms of implementing back-to-front efficiency, first thing to think about is which anchor system to use. All of these systems we have listed can be created with back-to-front efficiency. The one exception is the Joshua tree rigging. If you do that in a traditional context where out in the desert with an ambiguous cliff edge, you're going out to the cliff edge, finding where the master point's going to be, building that, and then coming back away from the cliff edge to secure the other leg of the anchor. On the East Coast, I use a J-tree style rigging quite frequently. I just modify it a little bit to be more efficient for the terrain that I'm in. If you're not familiar with these anchors, a great text to pick up is the AMGA single pitch instructor manual. This is standard on all of our AMGA SPI courses. So now let's take a look at building an anchor with back-to-front efficiency. We're going to build the V rigging with a lifeline tether. And we've got our cliff edge there. And on top of the cliff, a medium to large size tree that we'll consider an anchor. And then a bit smaller tree that we will consider a component. We're going to first locate the anchor that we're going to build our lifeline tether off of and start from there. I'll take one end of the rope and close that off with a stopper knot and then cast it out to the edge of the cliff. I can throw it all the way to or over the edge if I'm sure that there's no one below, or if it's a clean cliff top and I'm not going to sweep debris on anyone. If there could be someone below, or there's a lot of debris on top, I may just throw out an ample amount of rope towards the cliff edge. We'll secure the lifeline tether to the tree. Maybe we'll use a bowline on a bite or put a cordelette around and then connect it in with an overhand on a bite and a locking carabiner. And then on the back side of that connection, we are going to create a V going out to the edge of the cliff and then coming back up to our component. Again, I can cast this out so that I don't have to go over to the edge. Good to have a little more rope than less going over the cliff. That gives us some room to adjust our master point when we get ready to tie it. Then I'm going to walk over from the anchor to this component and secure off the other end of the rope. Could do another bowline on a bite or another means. At this point, I'm ready to head out to the cliff edge. If it's a pretty clean cliff top, I can stack my climbing rope in the middle here and just take the two ends of the rope out to the edge with me. If not, maybe it slopes down, there's a lot of roots, anything like that, might choose to backpack coil the rope, put it on me, and then take it out to the edge and then sit it down. I'm going to get on my lifeline tether here. A Petzl Grigri is one of the easiest ways to negotiate this fixed line. And I'm going to go out to the edge. If I stop short of the stopper knot, I'll throw in a overhand on a bite as a blocking knot behind the device. And then I'll create my master point, likely by tying a double overhand on a bite or a BHK. Once I've created that, I can put in locking carabiners and then feed my rope down the climb. My preference is to try to avoid throwing the rope. So I'll put stopper knots in both ends of the climbing rope, clip one side, and then feed both of those ends down at the same rate. From there, I can decide if I want to transition from my tether line onto a balanced rappel on the climbing rope, or I can go back away from the cliff edge and then walk to the base of the climb. So in creating this with BacktoFront Efficiency, I started back away from the cliff and did as much work as I could, working in this unidirectional progression out towards the cliff edge, and then ultimately had the option to transition and rappel to the base if I wanted to. So that's BacktoFront Efficiency. Hopefully this will help your systems be more secure for you while you're rigging them and more efficient with time and energy. Thanks so much for watching. If you have questions, please reach out in the comments section below, and keep an eye out for more videos coming out in the next few weeks on the Blue Ridge Mountain Guides YouTube channel.